we've got two excellent speakers. We have two brilliant speakers who I'm going to introduce in a second. If you do have any questions, please pop them in the chat. Once the speakers are finished, we'll have an opportunity to get them to answer some of the questions that you have been asking. Before I get started, a little bit of housekeeping. So renewals. Despite payment being on subscription, we do need to check your details to validate membership. So you do still need to fill in the form. Please complete the renewal application form that is emailed to you and update any details that have changed, and provide a copy of your DBS dated within the last 6 months. For IAB supervised members, AML, of course, training is an annual requirement. Please check your AML Complete dashboard to see if yours is overdue prior to submitting your renewal. Once training is up to date, submit your renewal form and pay your annual fee for another 12 months of submission. AML training modules 1 and 8 are free to IAB supervised members. Access details were sent by email at the beginning of January. If you need help accessing the modules, please contact the membership team as per normal. So, as I said, we've got two fabulous speakers today. We've got Darren Glanville, who's the country manager.
David, you're muted, I think.
I think the host, everyone was muted for a second there.
I'm back. Good, I'm back. So I'll rewind slight bits. We've got two speakers. In fact, we've got three for the price of two today. So we've got Darren Glanville and Dan Murphy, both from Fathom, and they're going to be talking about Fathom Portfolio, a new way to monitor, identify, and engage with your clients. And we've also got the lovely Caroline Hobden, who's from Accountex. She's the Portfolio Event Director. And just as a point of reference, our own CEO, Sarah, will be speaking on the 15th of May in the Bookkeeping Theatre, and will, of course, be on our stand, which is stand 390 this year. So without further ado, I'm going to now hand over to Darren and Dan, who are both from Fathom, and they're just going to be sharing their slides in just a second.
Can you see my slides in front of you? If you can give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Thank you very much. So appreciate everyone's time this morning. Wanted to take a few minutes. Obviously, the IAB are a strategic partner of Fathom's, and it would be remiss of us not to advise you or keep you updated into things like new releases. And so for any of you that perhaps weren't aware, on March 24th, we actually announced a new release into our product called Fathom Portfolio. And so we want to take a few minutes just to highlight what Fathom Portfolio is. I want to dive into a couple of things around why we built it, what we built, and giving you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what we're going to be looking at next. And then we'll have plenty of opportunity for questions off the back of that. I do want to make this as interactive as I can through the chat box. So please, when I ask a question, just drop your answers in there quickly, and we can get to the bottom of that as well. So we've been a partner with the IAB for a couple of years now, and one of the things that we've kind of heard is how people are using Fathom within their businesses and for their clients. But I just want to throw a few questions towards you that kind of frame why we built this. So in an ideal world, would you like to be providing more services with Fathom to more clients? And the answers really are a simple yes or no. So that would be useful to kind of get an idea from you on. So if you are able to drop that in, that would be good. And if it's sort of yes, we'd love to be providing more services with Fathom, or no, we're really where we want to be. So yeah, nice to see a couple of yeses coming through, which is good. I'm going to open that up a little bit further. Jem, no worries, you'll get an idea of what Fathom is very shortly, so we can use that. If we move on to the next question, which of these is a blocker for you offering more services with Fathom? Is it cost? I.e., it costs you a little bit more each time that you collect a client and you need to recover that. Is it time? The time to set that up for each client and build a report, and you need a return on that time? Or is it actually identification? I.e., it's not easy to tell which clients at which time are the right ones to approach. And I appreciate trying to pitch advisory services isn't easy. So it's just a rough idea of what we've got, and hopefully we can answer some of these as well. So Tanya, great, both cost and time. Thank you very much in terms of that. We often see some of these coming through, or a mixture of them. And if there is anything else, please let us know. What's preventing you from offering more advisory services to your clients? If we kind of look at that, if there was an easy way to spot trends across your whole client base, would that be useful for you? Is that a yes or is that a no? Excluding any of the answers that you've previously given. Yeah, absolutely. Well, the good news is that we've been listening not just to members of the IAB, but across our more wider customer base, not just in the UK but globally. And we did a bit of research and found this is about 18 months of research that we've condensed into a short presentation for you. And what we found was people always want to use Fathom more. That's great for us to hear because they're seeing value from the software that we provide. The second thing is that they want a cheaper way to do quarterly or annual reporting. And so we don't want price to be a barrier for certainly the level of entry-level service that people have. And we don't want people to churn. I think that's the one thing about a software subscription business is you want to make those clients sticky. The more sticky they are for you, the more stickier they are for us. So we want to be providing a much more integrated way of being able to help. And I don't think I use that term very specifically. It's about helping, not selling, but it's about identifying that as well. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you like dashboards. And I think that's a really cool thing. The other thing that we see here is if we look at, if I just move that shape out of the way, this is traditionally what we see within an accounting or bookkeeping firms. If you imagine the large circle, the large light blue circle is your total client base, then there is a percentage of those that are already being offered advisory with Fathom. This is typical. And what we want to be able to do is to help you position advisory to those clients. This is where a lot of growth is going to come from within the industry and within the profession. And these are the services that we know your clients are desperate for. They want advice. They want help with forecasts. They want help with budgets. They want management information. They want KPIs. And we're seeing through various reports from the industry that these services are becoming higher in demand. And obviously you're supporting that through the IAB with some of the learning and education modules that you have around offering advisory as well. So how do we help you offer this to more of your portfolio? So again, the couple of things that we did here was we came up with a concept and asked, I want to see my high level insights across my clients. Great, that's fine. I need an easy way to pick out the right client to speak to, because again, we're matching our service to the need of the client. And the other thing was I needed to be able to show my client something that would draw them into that conversation, even at a simplified level, that then opens up that conversation for us doing more around forecasting, strategic planning, lending, etc. So when we take those three elements here and we combine them, we came up with this model that was mentioned at the beginning, which was ability to monitor those clients at a high level, identify the right clients we should be speaking to at the right time, and then engage them with something that they can use that's of value to them and that draws them into a higher level of conversation. And so what we came up with was Portfolio. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up my screen and switch my sharing, and I'll take you on a very quick tour of what Portfolio is. So I'm just going to share my other screen. So I'm just going to stop here for a second, share my screen. And again, if you can just let me know when you see that, and you should see our Fathom dashboard. Can someone just give me a thumbs up? Yeah, awesome. So this is the traditional Fathom desktop view. When you log in, you're seeing your clients listed here. Couple of things that we've introduced, as I said, is the ability to do bulk updates. So again, you're not updating individual clients once you've connected to their ledgers, whether that's Xero, QBO. What we have then is the ability to set thresholds, and I'll come on to thresholds in a moment. This icon is what we call the Insights dashboard. So you'll now notice that there are two classifications that we have for each client type. Pro, meaning they're getting the full-blown version of Fathom, which includes forecasting, consolidations, etc. And now that we can have is what we have our portfolio view, and I can switch into that very easily. Now, what we're doing here is you can connect all of your clients. It doesn't matter whether they're on Xero, QBO, any cloud-based system will filter into here. And what we can do is we can do a number of things. The first thing is we can sort them by name, result. We can add filters in here. So again, we can now actually tag our clients across the various industries that they have. So for example, I could say, show me a list of all my construction clients, my hospitality clients. I can even go down to the service level that we're actually providing them. So I could say, only show me my annual accounts clients or my VAT clients. And I can even strip it down to who's the client manager or who's the team member that services that. And I can sort on that and see a list of them. So the other thing that we can do here is you can see we've got columns that we can effectively benchmark all of our clients against. And I can choose up to 6 columns that I want to show. So maybe gross profit, operating profit margin, and EBITDA. And I can choose those 6. And now I have a dashboard where I can scroll across and see how each of those clients is performing in there. Now, this is really useful if I'm looking at my clients within a particular industry. So let's say, for example, my construction clients, I've now narrowed that down to 44 companies. And what I want to do here is sort by result in terms of revenue, lowest to highest. So again, I can see the average result there, and I can also see the highest results down here as well. Now, what are some of the benefits of this? Well, I can actually use this to identify all of the clients that perhaps are approaching a VAT threshold. And now I can proactively reach out to them. So again, I can look at that. The other thing we can do here, for example, is we could look at EBITDA. So I could actually filter on EBITDA, see who my stronger clients are with a good EBITDA, and perhaps go out to a funder or a lender and say, actually, these are my prime clients that are looking for lending at the moment. Again, it's just a service that we can start to drill into that we didn't have the capacity to do before, but we're looking at this at the right time. So now we can start to see how we can monitor, identify those right clients, but what about engagement? And engagement is the piece that we are really keen on exploring, because again, what we could do is by clicking on this, we don't want to give them a 32-page management report. It's too much. They haven't engaged with us for that service. But what we could give them is a very simple standardized report that shows revenue, expenses, profitability, and maybe a little bit of cash flow. And these are preset reports that we can pump out literally in the matter of seconds to that client to engage them and to get them thinking about that business in a little bit more detail, and also to try and hopefully engage us in a higher level of service that is actually of value to them. If that client then does that, it's very easy for us to then take that client and then upgrade them to the pro version of Fathom. So again, we can drop them straight into a higher version of Fathom where we can engage them at the right level and do things like budgets, forecasts, and everything else. So again, there's lots of things we can use here. There may be even use cases that we haven't even thought of yet that are starting to come out from our clients who are using this to try and engage their clients on, an advisory service there. So that, in a nutshell, is Fathom Portfolio. So if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to take them at this point in time.
Thank you for that. I think it's interesting. It's about it's really about the engageability with the client base,
Yes.
and for clients to be able to quickly see exactly where their business is at.
Absolutely.
I know we've had some comments saying that Tracy said that not all her clients, essentially, a lot of them are just wanting to wing it, and I understand that with a lot of very much micro enterprises, they've got their heads down and they're not really concerned with essentially business planning. It's probably just staying afloat. However, I think having that visibility, very simple visibility, rather than running around like headless chickens, just trying to make the business stay afloat. It's like, well, do you want to look at areas where you could be doing better? And I could help you on that. I think another thing to add, certainly around the advisory services, that's something that we've been talking about at IAB for a long time now, is that I perceive, having worked with a large amount of small businesses myself, that a lot of them are really struggling because of the complexity of running a business, and they are really needing someone who can be a strategic advisor for them. So even if you aren't necessarily wearing an advisory hat with clients, you are still a trusted person, and if you are able to offer them even small bits of advice, or at least I think, as Darren just showed with some of those graphs, and saying, well, those graphs seem to be going down a lot. I think it's a very, very useful tool.
I think the thing there, David, is it's not about. I think people frame this the wrong way. I think they frame it in the pretense of selling a service. It's actually not selling; it's helping. And that's the key to this. And I think what we are often seeing now, and I agree with you, I think being a business owner right now is probably one of the hardest things ever, because of the regulation that you're going through, the economic pressures that are out there. The things that are keeping people awake at night are what's happening with things like national insurance increases, what's happening with CGT, the cost of living, all these things. Supply chain is a very relevant one right now with tariffs. And all the talk of tariffs. What would that do to businesses? Scenario planning, people want one thing. I think a couple of things. They want clarity and they want confidence. That's all they're coming to you for. And I think we have an obligation. I think when I was in practice, we used to say we have a duty of care to provide this to our clients and to inform them. Now, whether they then step through that service and say, hey, I want a forecast or not, but I think we do have a duty of care. And because of the way that the bookkeepers are positioned, you're already sitting as part of that on the strategic side of the table, with that in. And I think this is a really interesting point. I don't think it's about mindset. I think it's about presenting options to those business owners, and making them aware of some of the impacts of those decisions, or the potential of those decisions before they can make it. And that's what people find valuable. And so the production of this has to be easy. It has to be very quick, and it has to lead. And I think that's what's stopped people from selling it, is because they have to feel that they become a salesperson. And selling and accountancy are almost two words that don't go together. And selling is always seen as a dirty habit. And it's not. It literally is you helping the client. Many of the people on this call will be doing advisory services. They're just not calling it that. And I don't think the term justifies what it is. But for us, it's really about saying, hey, can we get more data in front of us to enable us to make better decisions about who are the right clients, how we help them, and how we get them on that journey to achieve the outcomes that ultimately they want. And that leads into other things. So presenting information can lead into a complimentary client review that leads into a forecasting and budgeting discussion that then leads into monthly coaching and accountability. It flows really, really nicely. And so, yeah, so for us, we have to make this price point effective. I know cost was mentioned on a couple of comments coming through. So for us, this is 45 pence per client per month. That's the difference. That's made this extremely affordable for clients to be able to do that. And then being
Darren,
able
I
to
think
upsell.
just picking up on again what Tracy said. I think it's useful to point out the difference, I guess, between a piece of software that you may have like Xero, and then essentially what you have, which is a dashboard. So it's a smart dashboard. So a lot of people say, look, I'm paying for the software. The software allows me to look at a certain amount of data, which I can then provide to the client. However, with a dashboard does a lot more and brings in more data and allows you to do comparison, etc. Would you like to be able to explain a little bit more about what Fathom offers over and above what you might get through normal accountancy software?
I think the one thing is that, for one, that will only apply if you have all your clients on a Xero dashboard or using Xero. Ours is fully cross-platform, so it doesn't matter. So you're getting a much broader spectrum of that. That's not to say people aren't 100% Xero. Absolutely. I think the other thing as well is the upsell opportunities that then come from that. It's not just about saying, hey, there's an insights dashboard. There's a route path to then upgrade them into a deeper level of advisory service. And this is where I think is the key difference, is having that client aware of that through an insights dashboard is one thing, but then putting them into a regular cadence of accountability, that's where we're seeing very interesting things happen with fee income and the services off the back of that. This is where we see deeper client stickiness. You embedding yourself. I think in a generation of AI is playing into this. Clients are absolutely desperate for these services, and we can bear that out because 50%, 40%, 50% of our business is coming through from SMB owners directly because their accountants and bookkeepers are not offering the service. And so if those clients are prepared to pay for that software themselves, what would they be prepared to pay for a service that they're getting off that regular from their accountant? I think there's an opportunity cost. And I think the other thing there is, as you said at the very beginning, hope isn't the method. Clients are winging it. I think this is the one thing I've always worked with, is hope isn't the strategy. And so we need to really, really dive into that. And I think what's sad is when you see some amazing businesses sadly fall to the wayside because they're not thinking about this. They're not planning ahead sufficiently far enough. They're focusing on just selling and marketing, and they can get themselves into a whole heap of issues with overtrading and a few other things, but they're not managing their cash coming in. So that for me is a really interesting point.
Just got a few more minutes, Darren. I think my perception from what you're saying is that as well as in terms of what you're offering with Fathom, there is a slight mindset shift. There's not only a mindset shift with your clients as IAB member clients, but actually IAB members as well. Is that it's, I think a lot of people may not think necessarily in terms of advisory, and that's what you were saying.
Absolutely.
But if you take a slightly different mindset, which is, it's not a huge leap forward for me to do advisory, and if I did want to do advisory, then presumably I can earn extra fees. Therefore, that would then justify paying the extra amount. And someone said, if you've got 100 clients, you're looking at £45 a month for using Fathom. But I guess if you're saying is if the mindset is different and you do want to go into advisory, then presumably you would be earning more fee income anyway. Therefore, that would justify it. So there is a certain as well as, and we talk about a lot, you've got a great piece of software, but you does involve a certain bit of mindset shifting to make the most of that software.
Yeah, I think the problem. I think the issue there is we can make assumptions about our client base, and I've seen this over many 20 odd years of working with accountants, is that we can make assumptions. Our clients wouldn't want that; they don't want that. One aspect is we never ask them. We never ask that question. What is the outcome that you want? Where are we going with this? What are you doing this for? Did you achieve the outcome that you wanted last year? If not, what else? And we can fall into a very easy trap of that. And some of that is mindset, but I think the biggest fear here is about selling and positioning that. And it isn't about selling, it's about helping. And it's about using the tech stack that you have. And not all tech apps or tech stack does everything. There's no one panacea that does everything for you. It's about choosing the right tech stack that's going to give you that big push and that big leapfrog. And it's about saying, okay, well, I'm going to invest in training, the right tools, invest in leaning into this, training my team, and we're ultimately going to reap the rewards of that because I'll be able to charge a higher fee for it.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I think there's still some concern about cost. And I think some people would like to see the trial. Apparently, there's a 14-day free trial, wanting to see it a bit longer so they can actually see whether it's worth it in the long run. But I think just closing out what you've been talking about, Darren, I mean, my takeaway really is that there is a real fear amongst bookkeepers and accountants about selling, but it's not about selling, it's about actually helping your clients. And if there is a way of making a real difference to your clients over and above what you normally do, if you've got tools which enable you to do that and the mindset to do that, then it should make a real difference, not only to your own practice, but to those of your clients as well.
It will, and we're super confident of that. I mean, yes, I can see the comments coming through. We take that on board. The first thing I would say is try it. 14 days. You can do a lot in 14 days in terms of trialing software and understanding what it can do for you. So I would say try it. Speak to Dan. Dan is the guy that does all of that. So reach out to Dan if need be. We can extend that trial a little bit further, but I would say try it and see what that does for your clients, and you never know.
Brilliant. Darren, thank you very much for your time today. And as ever, please do get in touch with either Dan or Darren after this if you want to find out a little bit more. So I'm now going to hand over to Caroline, and obviously Accountex has a long-standing partnership with us, and it's the preeminent accounting and finance event, which happens in London and Manchester, as many of you will know. We're going to get a bit of an overview about what we can expect this year, and I'm looking forward to finding out what's going to be different this year. And of course, as I mentioned, we will have a stand at 390 for those of you who are going to come along. So without further ado, I'm now going to hand over to Caroline, who is the Portfolio Event Director at Accountex.
Thank you so much, David. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Lovely to see so many of you at this coffee morning. I'd just like to say a huge thank you to the IAB team. We've been working with them for a number of years now, and it's a fantastic partnership, and we look forward to many more years to come. So yes, as David explained, I am the Portfolio Director for Accountex, and I'm just going to run through some important things about the event this year. I think it's prudent to start with what's it all about, because some of you may not have been to Accountex before, some of you may not have heard of it before, which is fine. We're going to change that today, and I'm hoping to see many of you at the show. So first of all, we are the largest event in the world dedicated to accountants, bookkeepers, and finance professionals. We take place every year at London's Excel, and the dates for next month are the 14th to 15th of May. It's actually going to be our 14th edition of the show, so we're really excited to bring the show together next month. We are expecting over 11,500 attendees across the 2 days. Last year we got just over 11,000, so it is a busy couple of days, but there's so much to see and do, including over 300 exhibitors. So lots of software on offer there. Obviously, Fathom will be there with a stand, so you can go and speak to the team there. And we have 13 theatres. A very popular part of the show is the content, and we have over 400 speakers. There's more to our portfolio as well. We have our show in Manchester that's very popular, and we also go global with Madrid, Toronto, and a whole host of virtual events that are also free to attend. So you're all very, very welcome to join us there. I just wanted to share the sort of the layout with you, just so that you're not surprised if you've not been to the show before. But you come in down the bottom, and the dark navy areas around the edges are all of our theatres. So all the content on offer at the show. There's so much to see and do. We've got brand new theatres this year. We have a theatre dedicated to talent, which I know is an extremely difficult area, recruitment, talent, people, etc. We also have an impact theatre, number 7 at the back of the hall. So all to do with branding and marketing. If you've got any questions, we've got a whole host of experts in there. We have a visionaries theatre as well. So those of you that are really looking to the future and I wanted to grasp all the amazing technology out there, then please do attend that. And everything that encompasses practice excellence will be down in Theatre 12. Then you've got the pink areas on the floor plan, and the pink areas are our features. I'm going to go to a little bit more detail about those in a minute. And then the white areas are all the stands, where you're going to be seeing so many cutting edge suppliers, brand new startups. There's going to be loads of offers and competitions and things. So very worthwhile checking out our exhibitor list on the website and seeing who you want to see in advance. So just having a think about some of those, this is just a selection of the key service and fintech providers at the show. So just to elaborate on those a little bit, please do go to our exhibitor list on the website. One of the most popular parts of Accountex is our seminar program. So I've already mentioned we have 13 theatres of the shows. 12 of them are dedicated to the seminar programs. This is all thought leadership. You're not going to get sold to in these theatres. And there's so many incredible sessions, incredible topics. There simply isn't space to put them all on here today and to talk about them all. So I just selected a few. Obviously, MTD is coming. It's going to be less than a year to the MTD deadline by the time we get to the show. So there's lots to see and hear about that. We are working with HMRC very closely. They are actually also doing an MTD hub. So you can go and ask them one-on-one any questions that you might have. AI, as always, a very, very popular topic, and there are lots of sessions dedicated to AI, but there's so many other things, whether it's scaling your business, whether it's AML, recruitment, mental health. There's just so many things that you can see and do. The program is live on our website right now. I really do encourage you to go and have a look at it. We will be launching the app in a couple of weeks' time, and you will be actually go in and select your favorite sessions that you want to go and see, select the exhibitors that you want to go and see. So you've got a nice, trusty help to take you around the show. You'll be able to look at the app as you walk around. We've got some really exciting keynotes this year, and this is just a few of them. I couldn't possibly put them all on a slide. There'll be some names in there that you recognize, perhaps the fabulous Rebecca Bennyworth, Jerry Williams, Rachel Harris, Jonathan Athau from HMRC, but we've got some brand new fresh names that you won't have heard from before. So we really do encourage you to check out the program. The keynotes tend to be focused in our theatres 5 and 8, the Orbit stage and the Horizon stage. So when you're looking at the program, do look out for some of these absolutely smashing keynote sessions. You may have seen this be announced recently, and this is a really fantastically exciting addition to the show this year. So if you've been to Accountex before, you know how busy it is, you know there's hustle bustle, you know that it's hard to hear the seminars, even with the speakers and all the AV that we've got on offer. So we have worked with a provider from Spain. This is the first time it's coming to the UK. And instead of getting all those nasty headsets that don't really work, that run out of battery, that someone else has worn 5 minutes before, that aren't clean, we're actually going to be able to provide you the opportunity to use your own phone and your own headsets. All you need to do is download the app completely for free. When you arrive on site, you're going to get a PIN number, and you'll be able to then hook into any of the audio in our 12 seminar theatres. And using your own headphones, and some of these are noise cancelling, so you're going to be able to enjoy crisp, clear, quality sessions without hearing someone having a chat over here or someone making a noise over here. So our message is loud and clear. Please don't forget your headphones. If you do, please don't worry. We will still have the sound being projected through the AV systems in the theatre. It's just for that really crisp, clear sound that if you do bring your own headphones and download the app, it's going to be a really enjoyable visitor experience for you. I mentioned just very briefly when I showed you the floor plan about our feature areas at the show, and we have so much fun doing this. We love working with all these experts, and we've got so many things on offer. I probably can't actually get through them all here right now today, but just a few of them that are on the screen right now. We have a podcast pit stop. So throughout the 2 days, our friends will be at Ask the Accountant, will be doing interviews, and you'll actually be able to sit in and listen to those interviews on site. To all you amazing bookkeepers, we have got you a bookkeepers base camp, somewhere that you can go and sit down, find your tribe, meet your peers, have a cup of tea, have a chat about the day, talk about your issues and your burning problems. But this really is an area dedicated just for you. And this year, it's going to be located directly opposite the Bookkeepers Theatre as well. We have got the LinkedIn Lounge. So LinkedIn is something that can be quite troublesome for some people, not really sure how to make the best of it. You can attract so many clients using social media. So we really do recommend that you go and speak with Ashley Leeds on LinkedIn Lounge, and we've got Rachel Harris, who many of you will know, who's running the Content Creation Clinic. And we have the fabulous mindfulness doodle wall. This, when we first introduced this, everyone said to me on my team that no one's ever going to use it. Well, you can see there in the picture in the bottom middle that it was made very good use of. This goes together with our quiet room that we have on site as well. So if you find a show like Accountex a little bit overwhelming and you need 15 minutes out, however long out, to go and decompress, then you can go and make use of our quiet room as well. And we've got the sustainability zone. This is brand new, fresh for 2025. It's going to be talking this year about how to have a greener office. So if you've got any questions about how to make your office more sustainable, then that's the place for you. There's so many other things. Again, I couldn't put them on the slide, from cyber resilience. There's the MTD hub, which I mentioned earlier, the automation station. So if you have got questions about software and what to go for, go and speak to the digital disruptors at the automation station, and they'll be able to answer any questions that you might have. But brand new for 2025, we have a few extra areas that we're really excited about. So the Solo Traveller Lounge, again, something that we hear a lot is that people might be sole practitioners, or they're the only one from their company that's going to be going along to the show. And it's quite an overwhelming thought to go along to a show like that. So we're working with Rhiannon Glacken from Fee Booster, and we're going to have a Solo Traveller Lounge on site for you. And you can go along, again, you can find people that are in a similar position to you. You can network, you can talk about your day. There's so many nuggets that you'll probably be able to get from this area. So we really do encourage you, don't be put off by coming to the show on your own. There's still so much to see and do, and you have got people there that will help you. We're also working on a masterclass series, and we are working with experts in their field. So this is something we've not done before. We've got a room just off the show floor where we will be able to have those really intense but such useful conversations where you can get down to the nitty-gritty. You can have really intimate conversations with experts. You do need to book into that one. That's the only thing you do need to actually book into on the content side of things, but we encourage you to do that ASAP on our website. And we're offering a golden opportunity for a couple of lucky visitors to Accountex to go and see Accountex Canada in Toronto. We will include your flight and we'll include 3 nights accommodation and full entry into the show. All you've got to do is pick up your ticket after the last seminar session of each day. All of the theatres will be handing out golden tickets and you can put your name down and see if you're going to be the lucky winner. And we've already mentioned the amazing All You Say app, where you can hear all of the seminar sessions using your own headphones. Something that's very important to us at Accountex is making sure that the show is accessible and inclusive for all. We have got BSL interpreters in 3 of our theatres, and we have got hearing loop technology for hearing aid users in all of our theatres. The aforementioned quiet room, again, is on offer. We provide gender-neutral toilets as well as male and female toilets, and our badges do have pronouns on them. We also have an accessible registration desk as well for wheelchair users. And again, the All You Say app, which we are sure is going to be very well utilized. So we promised some tips for you for attending a show like Accountex. There's lots you can do before the show. First of all, please do register. It's completely free. So go to our website, accountex.co.uk, and you will be able to register there. Don't forget to book your travel. I know it sounds like a simple one, but you can often get discounts beforehand rather than booking on the day. For the first time, we've actually got 3 water stations within the hall. So do please bring your own water bottle and you will be able to refill on site, and do stay hydrated. Pack your headphones again. Do wear comfortable shoes. Making those outfit choices sounds like a simple one, but it's not a show to be wearing stilettos, that I can assure you. And don't forget to bring your own power bank or chargers, although we do have a recharge zone on the show floor, so you can recharge your devices there as well. Do download the Accountex Show app when it's available, and do download the All You Say app for the sound as well. And that's where you'll be able to select all your seminars and exhibitors that you want to go and see before the show. On the day, just to make you aware of our opening times, we open at 9:30 each morning with the seminar starting at 10 a.m. We do recommend you get there early. We do get big queues on site. We close at 6 o'clock on day 1 and 4:30 on day 2. We've spoken about water already. Very important to stay hydrated. Do have a game plan. We do recommend that you don't just try and sort of wander around and see who you want to see on the day. If you can take sort of 20 minutes, half an hour in advance of the show, have that game plan with you and make sure that you tick them all off as you get around the show. Don't forget your business cards. There are many virtual and digital business cards these days as well, or have your LinkedIn profile accessible. And we really do recommend, when speaking to the software vendors and suppliers, that you have your questions ready. Yes, they'll have paperwork and brochures that you can take away, but you're at the venue, you're there. Do ask those leading questions and keep voice notes or take notes of the answers that they give. That will all help you post-show. Don't forget to network. I always say this: if you're standing in a queue for a cup of tea, or if you're in a seminar waiting for a speaker to come online, do speak to the person next to you. I've had so many people say that they just got chatting to someone in a queue and it's helped their business exponentially for whatever reason. So do sort of jump out your comfort zone if it's something you're not used to doing, and do speak to those around you. And if it all gets too much, please don't worry. We've got a wellness retreat on site where you'll be able to get quick 15-minute shoulder and head massages. We've got the quiet room and we've got the mindfulness doodle wall. After the show, incredibly important to have the follow-up as well. So organize all your notes, do the follow-up. Don't let these things sit in a drawer for months on end. It's really worth jumping on it while it's really hot in your memory. Listen to all the seminar recordings. That's something that we offer completely free of charge to people who come to the show. We don't sell these. We don't make them available to people that don't come to the show. So if you come on day one, you'll be sent the links to the seminars that you couldn't attend on site. And if you come on to day two, the same thing. You'll get all the recordings for free. They are only available for a limited time, but it's what we wanted to give back to the visitors. Say thank you so much for coming to the show. We know you can't get around every single seminar on offer, but you can watch them back afterwards. Share what you've learned with your team and do schedule next steps. And you know what? We really want to hear your feedback. If something's not working for you, if we can do something better, please, please, please do get in touch. We do actively make sure that we listen to feedback, that the app with the sound, that's based on feedback. The Solo Traveller Lounge, that's based on feedback. So do let us know. We want to improve. And of course, don't forget to claim your 16 hours of CPD points afterwards. Something that we're very, very proud of at Accountex is our sustainability commitment. We do have further information on our website for anyone that is interested to hear more. So far, we have planted 30,000 trees. That's a tree for every attendee over the last few years. And we were doing that again at the show next month. And we're looking forward to continue that for many more years to come. I think many people really worry about coming to a show like Accountex, that we buy it all in and then we chuck it in landfill afterwards. I just want to assure you that that's absolutely not our mission. We spend more money to ensure that things like the signage is 100% recyclable, things like the carpet is 100% recyclable. So a lot of the materials that we're using, we are putting a lot of energy into to ensure that we are looking after the carbon footprint. That's a very quick overview from me. I could go on for hours, as many of you who know me will support that mission that I do go on for hours. I'm really happy to take questions. I'm afraid I wasn't keeping a check of any questions as they were coming in, but I'm very happy to answer any. I don't know, David, if you've noticed any that were coming in as we're going along.
Yes, thank you so much for that. So we've had a few come in. So is there a prayer room? And if there is a prayer room, is it easy to find? And is there anything on the guide which shows where it is?
Yes, absolutely. There is a prayer room within Excel. So it will be within the main building itself. Details of that can be found on our website. It won't be within the show itself, but it definitely is one at Excel.
Brilliant. We also had some questions about, are there any plans to extend to Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales?
It's a really great question, and it's something that we have considered very much in the past. There are no plans at this point, but I would just, everybody on this call obviously is from all over the place. We do have that global portfolio. We are going to Manchester in September, so if London's a bit far for you to go, a lot of what we do in London is reiterated in Manchester. And for any of your global members as well, we do have Canada and Spain. And if there's another region that we've not considered on a global scale, then, you know, we'd love to hear from you. If you've got any insights or thoughts, we'll definitely research those as well.
So I guess a slight corollary off that from me is that, so if you are in a part of the UK, which is not necessarily that accessible to London and might be quite a distance, and you are a sole trader, could you give me 3 really good hints as to why I should go to Accountex, and really how can I justify giving up a day of fee earning to come to London and then attend the event? So 3 really top tips.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the first thing is it's actually going to save you time in the long run. So if you're looking at new software at the moment, or if you're looking for updates from your current supplier, come and talk to them, come and meet them on the day. If you want to compare your current providers and think about potentially having new providers, come along to the show. We have got the showcase stage where our exhibitors will do 10-minute pitches. So you're not going to get embroiled into sort of an hour-long conversation with someone on a stand. You can actually go along to these pitches and decide, oh, yeah, that sounds really interesting. I'm going to now go and have a longer conversation with that exhibitor on the stand. So it really does save you so much time, effort, and money. It's all there. It's 2 days. Then doing your own research back at home, which could take weeks, months, years for you to actually implement it as well. You really are hearing from the thought leaders, the forefront of accounting. You're going to be kept up to date with everything from legislation to the newest trends. So do come along and take part in those seminars. I think that is just such a key element to this show. And there's so many other things that I could put in option number 3, but I think I'm going to go with come along and have some fun, right? We all love our jobs. We all love what we do. It's really hard work. Being in the office constantly, working from home, working from an office, it's really, really hard and it's intense. Come along and have some fun. Meet like-minded people. Step out of your comfort zone. Enjoy what's on offer. There's so much to see and do. We are not just a bog standard exhibition with some conference speaking sessions. There is so much going on, and you never know how much it's going to impact your business just by coming along to the show for a day or two.
Brilliant. Well, very well put, I have to say. We've had some couple of questions through from Cheryl and Kerry about the some of the sessions being recorded. Will you be able to get the recordings if you register or if you attend? And also, will the recordings be available afterwards?
Yes, so you do actually have to be in attendance at the show. So just registering is not enough to get the recordings, I'm afraid. It really is our kind of way of acknowledging the fact that when you come to the show, one person can only go and see a certain number of talks in one day because you're only one person. So by giving you the access to the recordings afterwards, our way of saying thank you so much for coming. We know you couldn't see all of the sessions, so here are all the recordings. They're all going to be online after the event. It will take us a week or two to make them all available because it does take a little bit of time to edit them all and get them online. But if you have attended, and obviously we scan everyone as they come into the show, then we will ensure that you are sent those recordings afterwards.
Fantastic. I have to say I'm very impressed with the changes which you've introduced to the Accountex. I know from going in previous years, it's a very, very buzzy event. It's a lot's going on, and I think that you tried and worked very hard to make it as very inclusive and diverse as you can possibly be. And I know also from being on the IAB stand in previous years, it's absolutely fantastic. And as you said, sometimes it's just nice to see friendly faces, people you may not see during the rest of the year. It's an opportunity to just download, meet up with people on a social level, if nothing else. But equally, I think I have been impressed with some of the nature of the speakers. And you can learn a huge amount, which you can then put into your practice. I know from attending Sarah Palmer, our CEO's talk last year, I think we had standing room only. I was deeply impressed because I think she'd had an operation very not far beyond when she was speaking. So and that was really well received. And there are lots and lots of very similar high quality speakers there. So I think you've given so many reasons why it makes sense to attend. I think we're very much looking forward to having our stand, also having Sarah again speak this year. It's very much worth going to, I think.
Thank you. And I would just say, I've noticed Kerry Radmore just put a comment on about will the masterclasses be available for replays? That's actually an area that we're not going to be recording. The reason for that is that we feel like these discussions are going to be potentially quite personal to certain people. They're going to possibly want to share details of their own businesses because it's not just a speaker addressing a whole room. There is going to be a bit more interaction. So we made the decision not to record the masterclasses, but just to reiterate, for the masterclasses, it's the only one that you do actually need to go online and book your session. There will be sessions made available on the day. I feel like a doctor's receptionist by saying that, but you have to book in advance, but we will make some sessions available on the day. But yes, I just wanted to make that really clear. And I'd also like to thank Darren, because actually Darren's just mentioned something that is the word that I would absolutely use as well, which is about inspiration. You know, it's so important to just step out of your day to day and just see what everyone else is doing and be inspired. I've had so many people say to me, you know what, I fell back in love with the profession again from coming to a show like Accountex, and that just absolutely makes our day. So yeah, I think inspiration is a fantastic word to end on.
Brilliant. Well, that is, I love that. So we all need to be a little bit inspired. So thank you very much for coming on today, Caroline.
Thank you.
And Darren, also thank you very much for you coming on as well. So I think we've covered quite a lot of ground, as ever we do in these coffee mornings. So I think just going back to Fathom, I think check them out. Do look at the member area and see what Fathom has to offer. Give them the 14-day free trial. And, you know, I would say think about potentially changing your own mindset. So as Darren said, if you don't think of yourself as an advisor and don't want to be an advisor and don't want to sell, don't look at it that way. Look at it as if you're just helping your clients. Similarly, with Accountex, I think Caroline's given some brilliant tips. I think it's really rare. I've seen an event organizer actually give you some tips on how to make the most out of the event. So I think that's really brilliant. And I know from experience, a lot of people can sometimes get a little bit lost going to an event like Accountex. And if they don't have a plan, they don't have comfortable shoes, they don't have enough water, don't have enough business cards, it can be a little bit overwhelming. You think it's not really worth attending. So I think you've given some really valuable insights into why it is worth that investment. It is an investment of your time. And I think you rightly said that it's a very good investment of your time. And as I said, don't forget your headphones. We all need headphones. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of need now. Is your Wi-Fi, you have headphones. So do bring your headphones. But thank you everyone who's attended today's coffee morning. It's been an absolute pleasure to be hosting it. I've really much enjoyed it. I'm actually sitting here inside Crone Rye today, where I've just been recording a video with Phil Chapman, talking a little bit about how Crone Rye can help you as members. So look out for that in the very near future. That's going to be in the next newsletter. But I think that are the questions. We're just coming up to 12 o'clock. Thank you very much all for attending, and I hope to see you again at the next one very soon, if not at Accountex. Have a great day, everyone.